This is the Talkshow with Vic, aka Mr. Never Chillin, and I'm here today with a good friend, Madeline Williams.
Hello.
Thanks for joining me today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, and thank you for putting up with me and all of my technical difficulties. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's good. I'm glad we got it to work now finally. But
Yeah.
if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself to the community, like who you are, what do you do for a living, maybe like a fun fact or anything else you want to input.
Okay. So my name is Madeline Williams. Oh man, what do I do for a living? I work for the state government. I'm the executive assistant to the First Lady of Pennsylvania. So it's definitely a really exciting job. Right now it's been a little difficult given that we've been in a pandemic for the past year. But we're definitely, doing everything that we can to make it work. I don't really know about a fun fact. No, I guess I think the most fun fact I have is that when I was younger, I was in a Naughty by Nature music video with my dad. They were a rap group from back in the day.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. So I actually think I've been using that one for the past 10 years of my life.
But it's, I mean, it's still
Shows how
something fun, and I mean, most people probably don't even know that about you at all.
No, yeah, you're right. But yeah, I guess that's the most fun fact about myself.
No, yeah.
But I'm super excited to be here. I'm sorry if I feel like I'm talking a lot.
Oh no, never that. This show is honestly all about me giving you a platform to talk about different things. Like we got some good topics to get into, so let's definitely get into why we're here today. We'll start off with the first segment. We'll talk about your involvement in the community. As you said, you're in the state government as like an executive assistant to the First Lady of Pennsylvania. But what other things do you do in the community?
So my other full-time job, I like to call it, is I work with a local nonprofit. So I'm from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. You're from Lancaster?
Harrisburg. Well, I'm from
Okay, but
Steelton
you live
technically, but you know.
okay, okay. But you lived in Lancaster, right?
Yeah, for like a year or so.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't pulling that from nowhere. But no, so I am from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and I work for a local nonprofit there. We're called Capital Rebirth. And that is what I like to call my other full-time job. I do community or communications and media relations for the organization. And our entire mission is to unify and uplift Central Pennsylvania through community.
Okay, Google, stop. Sorry about that. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
Google must know about Capital Rebirth.
That's the first time Google was trying to get a phone call like that. That's weird.
Oh my gosh, it's okay. I have a Google Nest that I just connected about 2 weeks ago, and I'm waiting for this exact thing to happen. For it to just start talking when I don't ask it to. And
Well,
then
apparently it was saying that someone was trying to call me, but like my phone's right here and it's not going off, so I don't know. Like that's weird that someone was calling my Google. I don't know what that is, but
Oh wow.
yeah, so I just unplugged it. I was like, nah, I'm good.
Nice.
But yeah, sorry about the interruption there, but yeah, if you want to go ahead. But how has the journey been for you so far?
The journey has been wonderful. Capital Rebirth, I mean, we've been an established nonprofit since 2018. So going on 3 years in August. And our community impact, our recognition, everything has just like every year, it just gets better and better.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely been a journey because we are still a fairly small team.
Right.
But I mean, with the amount of resources that we've been able to gather in these last few years and the connections, we see ourselves growing and growing pretty greatly in this next year. So it's been really exciting.
No, yeah, that's awesome. Is Capital Rebirth, is that the same organization that bought the McDevitt old high school?
No, so that is a different set of folks. So their project is called The Bridge, and
Okay,
we
that's
are
right.
not associated. Yeah, and that's not necessarily an organization.
Oh, okay.
But we get confused with them because we also put in a bid for William Penn, the
Oh,
old high
okay, yeah,
school in Uptown Harrisburg.
yeah, yeah.
Yep. And so, yep. So we are in the process of doing that right now, and restoring that beautiful building, to be a place for the trades and vocational
Mhm.
training and career training again. So yeah, we're doing that right now.
No, yeah, that's
Working
awesome.
on the building.
What has been like some of your favorite projects that you've been a part of or helped out with?
With Capital Rebirth, um, I would have to say our biggest event, which is our anti-bullying superhero day. So we started that back in 2018, where we literally threw a big festival on City Island in Harrisburg. And the purpose was, I mean, obviously to bring families, children, adults, everybody out to enjoy a free day of play. That's something that we always do. Our events, if we can't make it free for everybody, they're always at least free for children,
Right.
food included. And so our anti-bullying superhero day, so like I said, we throw a big festival, bouncy houses, music, food, the whole nine. But it's also set up as a resource fair,
Mhm.
where we have resources on hand, to I'm sorry, I was losing my train of thinking right there. But where we have organizations come out to share what they do with families and children around anti-bullying, youth violence prevention, health and wellness services, mentorship opportunities. Everybody comes out on that day and they just, make themselves available for families. We really try to meet people where they are when we do these events.
Mhm.
So that's one of the ways that we're able to do that. And that's been the most exciting. Number one, because I mean, bullying has been a thing for too long, and it is getting worse. Especially with everybody living on the internet.
Right.
Cyberbullying is really big, right? And not even just for kids. Adults bully, teenagers bully, right? Like it's
Right.
definitely a thing. But at the end of the day, it really starts to become detrimental when people don't have an outlet or they don't have someone to talk to.
Right.
So we really just try to make sure that people know where these resources live. And last year during COVID, because it was not safe at all, to hold a big citywide fair on City
Right.
Island, right? Like that would have just been extremely irresponsible.
Yeah, no doubt.
Um, but so we took our superheroes. I guess that's the main part that I forgot, was that on top of all the fun, we have a collection of superheroes that come out and they interact with the families on Superhero Day. But last year, we got all of our superheroes dressed up and we did a parade throughout the entire city. So we just told people, stand outside of your homes, be on this street at this time, wear a superhero costume if you have it. You will be surprised at how many people have superhero costumes and not
I
just
bet
kids. Um,
the MCU is
and
a big thing in entertainment. So
it is. Do you like superheroes?
I'm into the MCU. I prefer the MCU over the DC universe. That's just me personally, but
Yeah, yeah. Where I think Marvel was my favorite too. Yeah, yeah. I'm definitely Team Marvel. Marvel's the Avengers, right?
yeah, yep, exactly.
Yep. Yeah. Yep, definitely Marvel. But so yeah, we got all of our superheroes dressed up. We got some cars. We had a motorcycle crew. These two fabulous young ladies, Rain and Taj. They have a lemonade business. Another nonprofit organization around here. A woman who does face painting. They all got dressed up. Got their cars, our motorcycle and exotic car crew. And we just rode through the entire city and created our own parade with our superheroes, and like kids were and parents, like everybody was just so excited.
No, yeah, that
Um,
sounds exciting. I missed out on that one.
yeah, seriously, I think we're gonna do that again this year though. As long as COVID restrictions aren't as strict as they are, we would like to do an in-person segment too. But
Right.
we have to do the parade again. It was just
Right,
like,
right. I mean, regardless, you still gotta do the parade, even if you can still do the in person.
yeah, no, that's exactly what we said. I have to send you some pictures. Like it was awesome
No, yeah,
for
yeah, that'd be
real.
awesome to check out for sure. When is it? When is this year's? Do you have any idea like what time frame?
Yes. So October is Bullying Prevention Month, National Bullying Prevention Month. So we always do it in October.
Mm-hmm.
And this week it is going to be our entire campaign is going to be a little bit different because we're going to spread it out over days. So one day we're going to do a superhero movie night. You know,
Mm-hmm.
another day we'd like to do a dinner and just all these different events that lead up to our big superhero day parade, which will end with a celebration on City Island. So
Oh,
kind
okay.
of everybody, see the parade and then head over to City Island to see the
Right.
vendors, do all the get the food, all of that stuff.
Right, right. That sounds
But
cool. Yeah,
October.
yeah. October is perfect because right now I live in South Carolina, so but I'm planning to move back up there in Pennsylvania in like August or September. Just depends on like my girlfriend's schooling and stuff like that. So once she's finished, then we can just get up on out of here and head back home. Like I'm
Yeah.
excited for that. But what? How has this journey like impacted your life personally?
Um, I guess it really has just it keeps me and I'll say keeps like present tense. It keeps me involved. It keeps me focused on what is going on in our community. I guess like our tagline is that we're always trying to find solutions for the issues in our community. And so it is definitely one of those things where, I mean, obviously we can't provide solutions if we don't know what the issues are. So it keeps me in touch with people, which is just near and dear to my heart anyway. Always been, uh, I've just, I've always appreciated community, the people here who have invested in me so much, and I just always felt this responsibility to.
Uh oh. Technical difficulties here, folks. Bear with us as I get Maddie back on the show. Hopefully it loads here. There you are.
Ta-da! Was that me?
Huh?
Was that me? Was that the reason you dropped off?
I guess I'm not sure. Like it just left me on the screen, and I was just like technical difficulties. Bear with me, folks. And then
Oh
you,
my gosh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I was talking and then it just like swiped over and I was like, well, he was bored.
no, definitely not. Definitely would not do that. Not that kind of person. But no, yeah.
No. But
But
yeah,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Yeah, just to wrap that up before you cut me off again. Um, no, I'm kidding.
Hey now.
Yeah, it definitely keeps me in tune with what's going on in the community. Just what the different needs are, and constantly thinking, how can we use our resources to help people? It keeps those muscles, just moving and active. Just constantly trying to figure out how we can build a better community.
Right, right. Because it's just definitely been rough, especially given the past couple of years and the whole political thing, how it's divided the country and all that kind of stuff. That's another topic to get into for another day. But um, what impacts have you noticed in other people that you have had on them?
Oh man, I don't know. I can't say that I've seen, I mean, other than, the people who are directly around me who told me that, just different strengths that I've had helped them. Um, I can't say that any. So okay, so I'll say one, I guess. And this isn't. I don't even know where this came from. But recently, I was approached to be on a board for the Harrisburg Public School Foundation. So that's an organization here in Harrisburg that helps out the school district. I mean, in whatever capacity. If the school district is having trouble with paying teachers or funding after school programs. This foundation is the foundation that they go to and they figure out how to make it work. How are we going to keep band camp? How are we, this group of people fundraises and they get whatever resources that they need to get to keep public education going, and all of the extracurriculars. So I was approached to be on that board. Completely caught me by surprise.
I
Um,
bet.
yeah, but I was nominated by an old science teacher of mine who is now on the board for Harrisburg School District. And that was one of those moments that made me like step back and be like, whoa, like why would he nominate me? I mean, I like obviously I would hope that he thinks highly of me, and thinks well of me, I should say, to consider me for that. So I can't say that I've noticed what it was, like any specific thing that I did to impact someone's life, but that has just been an instance where I'm assuming there was something that I did or that I've said, or just yeah, that has made him, think, oh wow, like this young person, go do this because you need to be there.
No, yeah. Apparently,
So
you had to done something where it like made him think about you. But like, I think she would do a really good job here because she did this, this, and this. I think she would do really well at doing this. That's what to me it seems like. I mean, plus the teacher knows you from however long ago since they taught you and stuff like that. So it makes sense. I mean, because obviously you've made an impact in the community, and they want you to help make an impact in this as well. So that's awesome to hear. Are you going to take that or what?
yeah, I think it's really weird because like the conversations have been like I think I'm in, but then it's like, but we're gonna like bring in more people from like the committee to like make the final decision, but then it's like we can't wait to work with you. And then I'm like, wait, do I have it? But like I don't want to ask, so I'm like, I think so. I'll get back to you after I get like a formal invitation to like
Right.
a full board meeting. Um, so I think so, but I'm not putting it on the resume yet because I just need like that verbal
Right, right.
confirmation.
All right. It sounds like they're giving
So
mixed signals, and that's never good. But it seems like it's like they gotta wait until they tell it officially, but they already know the answer. Like
yeah,
that's what it
yeah,
sounds
so
like.
yeah. But I mean, God willing, it happens, and I would definitely take that opportunity. That's my home school district. So anything I can do to help.
Right, right. Just to find ways to give back to where you came from and stuff like that. Because I mean, you've seen the struggles of probably that school district going through it, and now looking at it out from the outside. Now you can try and make an impact to change it.
Absolutely, that's the goal.
Yeah, sure, no doubt. But what drives you to help out and be a part of like all these different organizations to want to help give back?
I don't want this to sound like a cliche answer. But honestly, that's just one of those things that has always been a part of my life. From a very young age, my mom was very big, and my grandmother, they were very big on service, no matter what it was. I had that grandmom who, and listen, anybody who knows my family, like they know this to be true. My grandmother in the neighborhood that we grew up in, everybody just called her Nana, or the old lady on the corner, or if they didn't know her formerly by Nana. But she was that woman who never, ever, ever turned anyone away. I mean, to the point she had maybe a few cans of food in her cabinet, and that was it. And a family knocked on her door for Thanksgiving, and they were hungry, possibly homeless, and she gave them those cans. She has invited strangers into her home, to strangers, I'll say to us, to live with her, who were homeless or who were going
Right.
through something at home for whatever reason. That was just always the person that she was. I mean, and we'd go to church and we learn about, the importance of service. We'd volunteer at church. But like I said, that was just something that was just in her makeup. My mom was the same way. A lot of the people that maybe couldn't fit on my grandma's couch, it sounds crazy, but then they would ask my mom, and we just two people who were never turning their backs on people, and always just believed in humanity,
Right.
and so I mean, that said, that was something that we saw, that was something that we valued, because we were raised to value that. And as we got older, and I don't even want to say as we got older, just whenever we were old enough, my mom was taking us to the mission, and we were giving food out to people. My grandmother, actually, when we were when we were very young, we used to eat at the mission that we used to serve.
Right.
And so, it was just like, that was just something that we had always done. And I guess really for me, and this is really where it comes from with the whole school thing for me, and just wanting to help my school going through, um, just going through the education system here in Harrisburg. We got a very bad rap. At Harrisburg School District. I mean, I know what school did you go to?
Still high.
Okay,
It's not much
okay.
better.
Well, but I mean, so you probably can empathize with me on this.
Yeah.
But your school district gets such a bad rap, and people are just kind of writing your district off, right? It's like, oh, well, you're not going to amount to anything coming out of here.
Right. The only thing we're known
But
for
being
is
a
sports.
student,
Academically, forget it. They don't ever look at us for
exactly.
academics.
Exactly, exactly. And but going through the system, knowing these students, being one of those students, you see the potential and you know it's here. And then just taking it a step further, the teachers that I've been blessed to have throughout my experience were phenomenal, and they were so dedicated even when our school district was going through the worst of the worst times.
Right.
When they were talking about closing down the school, that I had gone to, which was a phenomenal school. These teachers were sticking it out. They were taking pay cuts, but they were staying late, and they were keeping the programs going that they knew that we needed. And just seeing that and knowing that these people were so invested in us, just really, I think, just ingrained in me that that's what I had to do when I had the opportunity.
Right.
So that's definitely what drives me. Just knowing that there is potential in everybody, and none of us can do this alone. And community is important. Period.
Right. Right. I mean, without the community, there is no individuals at that point. Like I feel like you said, like helping one another is just it's super important. And it's just like a general rule, like good morals and good ethics. Like you want to treat others how you want to be treated. And like if you want to succeed, like you got to see other people succeed too. And it's just like it got to be a good balance on that. Like you got to help out do your part, honestly, for sure. But one more question for you, and then we can move on to our next segment. Where do you see all of this going? Like, what are your goals with this?
So do you mean like just with Capital Rebirth, just in general?
Yeah, just in general, like with your involvement in the community.
I can't necessarily say that I see it going anywhere. And I don't mean to say that like I think that our efforts are fruitless. I mean in a sense of I don't I just don't know. But I know that I don't see me stopping to help people, stopping
Right.
helping people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I believe that it's all just like a continuous cycle. Like I think that when I help somebody, this person is also helping somebody else, who's helping somebody else in some capacity, who's helping someone else in some capacity, until it gets back to me. Where I'm only 75 million people removed from this person that I'm helping, from the person that they're helping who's helping me.
Right.
And so I really think that it's a cycle. I guess where I hope that it goes, I hope that when I'm helping somebody, whoever it is, at whatever time, if whenever they are in a moment of doubt, thinking that their efforts aren't recognized and that they want to stop helping people, I hope that they think, okay, this girl helped me this one time when I really needed it, and so I'm going to use that as my motivation. Because not just me, but I don't want anybody to stop helping folks. That's
Right.
never never
No,
gonna
I agree. That's awesome. That's awesome. And any last thoughts you want to give to anybody about helping out their community at all before we move on to the next segment?
I guess the only advice that I would give somebody, or just words that I would want to leave with anybody, is just to know that their effort matters. I think that in this past year, everyone has truly gotten an understanding of how quickly everything could be taken away from you. Um, no matter how long it took you to attain it, no matter how quickly you got it, no matter what you were able to acquire in a certain amount of time, when a life changing situation happens, like a pandemic that immediately put some people out of work, that immediately made people who were considered middle class families rely on food banks for food, when
Right.
they've never had to do that in their lives, people who have lost their homes. um, I just I think that this has been a real eye-opening experience, and I'm always in the mindset of this could be any of us at any time, and I would just hope that if it was me, there would be someone there to help me out.
Right.
And so yeah, I just yeah, I definitely encourage anybody who is thinking about getting involved in their community in any capacity to do it, because you just never know. You know, if it's a job, if it's a service engagement, it's because there's a need. And understand that. You know, you may not know someone who needs it, but somebody needs it. So
Right, no doubt. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome for sure. Personally, I'd recommend anybody to help out as much as possible. I mean, it could be anything from volunteering to just getting engaged in the community, helping out wherever you can. But yeah, that's awesome. Let's move on to another important topic. We're going to talk about the state of women in 2021. How do you think that is going on right now?
oh my gosh. So this has been on my mind so heavily, because there are just so many different different things that have happened in this, I'll say in my lifetime, that I have witnessed, um, that have just shown how wonderful women are. I'll just say it, just frankly, just like that.
Right.
I mean, obviously, we're coming off of the recent victory of the most wonderful Kamala Harris as the
Right.
first female VP, as the first female Black VP, as the first female South Asian VP. Like just all of these different barriers that she has broken, with this one title, um, and so I think that we're in a moment where we just can't stop. You know, there are so many. It's always a part of the conversation sometimes that these moments are, that they're considered, and the word is leaving me right now, but just saying that this is all, that it doesn't really matter, that, you know, okay, Kamala Harris, this is like the same thing that people would say when Barack Obama got elected. Okay, we have a black president, but what has really changed? You know what I mean? But nothing
Right.
has really changed, which may be true considering the last 4 years that we've just endured. Um, but I think that it was definitely a moment of, okay, we just got this. And not only is she the VP, we know that Biden, who is the president, values women. You
Right.
know, we have, our just, there has just been such a shift. And I think that this is really a moment for us to just keep the momentum going.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, just in the past 5 years, I've seen so many more, initiatives geared towards women. So many more, and I don't even want to say so many more resources given to women, but there's been a lot more awareness around women's issues that I think is phenomenal.
Right.
And unfortunately, it's one of those things that where if we stop now, it could literally stop.
Right. It
You
could just
know,
backtrack
if
everything that
women,
was accomplished.
absolutely, if women stop, voicing their opinions, if you, Vic, stop voicing women's
Right.
issues and saying that I advocate, for women to have, these things, then it is going to fall by the wayside.
Right.
So yeah, it's just it's one of those things that I think about all the time. But I mean, I come from a very feminist, family, so I've always felt like it's been the time of the woman. But I really do right now, like, feel like it is the time of the woman.
Right, right. Because with Kamala Harris, like, and all these other women that were put into the cabinet, as well with Joe Biden's cabinet, like, those are like role models now. Like, the like women actually have like somebody to look up to, and like, oh, it is possible to do this. It is possible to become VP. Like, like it's just it's incredible to see the progression, like even in the last 10 years. That I think what now, like women make up majority of the workforce too, if I'm not mistaken. Like it's like 53% or 54%. Don't hold to me that's that number, but I believe women just took over, and it's just like it's great to see how everyone's starting to become, I want to say, like I think it's everyone's becoming more equal in a way, like, but I know the pay, there's like a huge pay difference too. Like guys get paid more than women for doing the same exact job, and it's just like why. Like I personally don't understand that, and like I think we just, like you said, got to keep working forward, and so we can progress, because like there's always something to make it better. But like with the pay, I think pay is huge. Like the biggest like example I think was the women's soccer team, the national team. Like they barely get paid anything, and they're like way better than the guys team, but the guys get paid more, and it's just like why.
Yep.
Like that's really what it comes down to.
Absolutely. And I think that was really good, a really good point that you just brought up, you know, just having these women as role models for the next generation, because that's something that, you know, that's always going to be a part of the conversation. It's representation. If you can't, there's a campaign that they have actually, I don't know if Lala Anthony started it, but I've seen it countless times. And the tagline is, if you can see her, you can be her. Speaking to, if you can see yourself accomplishing greatness, then you too can accomplish greatness. And not necessarily your physical self, but someone who looks like you, someone who has had similar experiences as you know, someone who you can relate to in some capacity. If you can see them accomplishing greatness, then you believe that you can do that as well.
Right, right. Yeah, I definitely agree. It was awesome to see when they got sworn and all that kind of stuff. Like seeing people's posts on Facebook, like showing their daughters, like they took pictures of their daughters, like watching it and stuff like that, and like it's huge to show the kids that, honestly, like they may not 100% know what's going on or anything, but it what they see is just like, I could be her one day or something like that. Like like I have to go back to it. It's a role model. Like it's awesome to see that for sure. But how so you think you could probably generally agree that it has improved over getting worse in the past 10 years?
Yeah.
But how could it get better though, in your personal opinion?
Oh man. I mean,
like where can you start, right?
Yeah, I'm just like, do we have another 2 hours? Just for the start. I mean, I think a lot of it comes down to allowing women to be in control of themselves. I know that, you know, especially since I've worked in state government, I've been so much more in tune with the reproductive rights movement, and those kinds of issues. And that is one that has always stood out to me as, how dare someone, especially a man who is providing nothing for me financially, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, tell me what to do with my body.
Right.
I have my own views, you know, on what I would choose to do, but I would never shun another woman for what she chooses to do with her own body. And that's just one part of the movement, you know, that's just but that's a real serious part, because there's literally legislation behind that, and it's different in every single state. You know, there is a piece of paper that says a woman can do this and a woman can't do that, and it's like, oh, what?
Yeah, why is there restrictions and stipulations on someone else like that?
Or myself.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Like, it's your body, you should be able to make whatever decisions you want with it.
Absolutely, you know, and when you just couple in all of these different factors that add to the stress of making decisions about yourself, including limited access to healthcare, limited access to quality healthcare, limited access, you know, to doctors who are going to tell you what is truthfully best for your body, what is actually going to benefit you physically, mentally, emotionally, all of that. It's just like, again, you're not supporting me financially, you're not supporting me mentally, emotionally, you are not providing any kind of support for me. how can you tell me what I can and can't do?
Right.
So and like I said, that's just the base of it. Down to what women wear, how women, should appear in this kind of business setting, what is appropriate for it, just all of that,
Mm-hmm.
all of um, those limitations just really don't allow women to take control of themselves, to own themselves. And so their thoughts, their ideas, their anything, um, getting paid, 60 cents less than men, like it's insane,
Right.
so but like you said, doing the same work, like all of these limitations don't allow us to own anything about ourselves. So I definitely think that, that is where it starts.
Right, right. Yeah, I definitely agree. So there's definitely a lot of work to be done, and like you said, can't stop now. You got to keep pushing forward and stay on top of it. Otherwise, everything that has been done and worked so hard for will just kind of just slowly slip away again. That's all that takes. But I think the movement is on a really good roll right now. Like the momentum is there, and it just keeps picking up more and more and more. And I think we'll just definitely see that over the next 5 to 10 years from now too. Like who knows where the because it's like women don't. I feel like women don't have as much freedom as guys, and it sucks. Like everyone's supposed to be the same, treated equally, no matter who what you are. Like no matter what. So like definitely a lot of work. But
Yeah.
any last thoughts on the state of women in this year of 2021?
No, other than, like I said, now is the time of the woman. I've always felt like, our time is going to come. Like it was always the time of the woman, honestly. But if any time, this is really it. And I just hope that I am hopeful that we will keep this momentum going. I know I am, and I encourage every woman around me, to keep putting pressure on them, keep the foot on their necks, as they like to say. But to yeah, yeah, to just keep striving for excellence and not taking no for an answer.
Right, right. Don't be a pushover, for sure. Don't let somebody tell you this is how it works or this is how it goes. Like you know what can be done. Just put in the hard work and call them out on their bullshit for real, and just go around and keep working. But yeah, that's awesome. That's a
There you go. When someone asks me to be a part of their campaign and asks me if I know of any guys, I'm gonna be like, you know what, Vic gets it, so I'm gonna hit him up.
exactly.
He's gonna help us, ladies.
Hell yeah, yeah. I'm down. Just let me know. Hit me up. But yeah,
I love it.
that's awesome to bring that we're able to bring awareness to just women and their freedom and their right and stuff like that, and just the where they're at in society. Like it's awesome to bring awareness to that because some people might be completely oblivious to it because they never looked at it or never listened to it or never like really honed in on it. But yeah, that's all. It's extremely important. But let's move on to our last segment here. Another serious topic is working through the pandemic. How has working through the pandemic for you personally, especially that you work in the government?
So first, let me just start with saying I've felt extremely blessed to have a job.
Right.
So, but yeah. So I'm not even gonna go into that because again, it's something that I think about, and that one might bring me to tears. But yeah, it's been different. It has been different. I think like when people ask me like, oh, like, do you like working from home? My instinct is to say no. And I mean, I've never had a work from home job. I've actually typically, well, before this position, I always worked like crazy hours. I worked in food. I worked in semi-pro sports. Like I worked in fast-paced environments.
Right.
And so, yeah, I was never home. But yeah, and it, I'm sorry, it's weird because it's one of those things where you think, oh man, like I wish I could just work from home. I wish I
Right.
just had to go, downstairs to my office and everything would be so much easier. And it's really not. I
Right.
think this entire time has really, not I think, I know this entire time has really shown me how much discipline I don't innately have.
Right.
Like all of the discipline that I have acquired over my years of working and schooling and doing all these things, I had to create for myself. And so, but as soon as we were working from home, and I'm not going to lie, it didn't even hit me until September, October, and we had been home since March, that I probably wasn't going back. Like I was hanging on to the work clothes. I'm like, I'm going to put those pants on. I know I'm going to wear that dress. Like I'm not even going to put them all away because I know as soon as I do, pack them up, put them in the basement, I'm going to have to go back to work. And then
Right.
it just like kept persisting, and I was like, okay, I'm really not going back to work. And but it yeah, I mean, well, granted, a lot of times, a lot of places were closed, but I wasn't don't going to the gym on the early morning like I used to. I had breakfast if I wanted. I didn't get dressed.
Right.
I saved so much money on makeup because I was not putting it on. Like it was crazy, and
Right.
it's another thing it showed me, like really just how much stuff I truly don't care about.
Right.
Unless right, like just makeup just being the number one. I was just like, if I don't have to go to where, I really don't put this on. Like it
Right.
was crazy. If I don't have a video conference, I don't try. And so I was just like, this is it was very eye opening.
No, yeah, for sure.
But yeah, if they call me right now and say we need you to come into the office on Monday, I'm going.
Right. You're ready to go back. You're definitely. I mean, like, I feel like it's going to affect everybody differently and stuff like that. Like, some people who work from home, but yet they have to take care of kids and stuff like that. So, like, they're trying to do the at home learning and while managing their job, like, that can be hard. Or just, like, I don't know, like, some people can get easily distracted as well, too. So, it's just like, when you're at home, you're just like, I'm working. Oh, wait, I gotta go do this. Let me go clean my house. Let me go do that. Like, it's just like, you can, it can be overwhelming at some point. So, then. And then, like, if you, some people, I mean, I've realized that domestic abuse has gone up while people are working from home, just because everyone's at home at nonstop, and now they're getting at each other, and that's not good to see either. That's another topic for another day too. But personally, when the pandemic hit, I was working at Men's Warehouse still, and I was put on furlough in March, and I didn't get a job until July. So for 4 months, I'm just sitting at home, collecting unemployment, making more money than I normally would at work. So, and then, like, I can't go out and do anything, so I'm saving more money. So it was just like, it was kind of like a good thing for me in a way. But for some people, they're struggling and they can't afford this or can't afford that, or whatever the case may be, or just people making poor decisions. But once I got a job down here in South Carolina, I couldn't go back to work at Men's Warehouse, which was the original plan, because when they brought people back to work, it was only like 4 people out of like 15. So I still wouldn't be back to work. So I was like, I need a job. The extra unemployment was ending. So I was like, I need to get a job. So I ended up getting a job at Hertz Rental Car. For now, it's just another stepping stone until I get to my career. But yeah, it's just definitely been, to me, impactful, because like I was doing extremely well at Men's Warehouse, like top 5 in the region selling and stuff like that. And to go to where I've been to where I was at that point, and then for it to just all disappear, that was like, well, damn, all that hard work I just put in for 8 years, for what? It really hit me. I was like, damn. And then now I'm at like a basic paying job. Like it gets the bills paid, but it's not what I was making at Men's Warehouse. But it just sucks how I had to regress to that. But hopefully once I move back to PA, find a new career and go from there. But pandemic's definitely been interesting. Like you said, I can't go to the gym. I was going to the gym all the time before it, because I was trying to work on myself, get healthier again. And then I suck at working at home, like working out at home. I'm not good with my body weight exercises. Like, I don't want to go for a run outside. I'd rather run on the treadmill. Like, it was just like to me, it's excuses. Grand scheme of things, yes, they're excuses, but I'm going from I was never a person that liked working out. So I found something how I liked working out. So then I lost it. So it's definitely been very impactful. But how has it affected like your friends and family? Have you noticed anything?
Yeah, I'll say mostly one of my grandmothers, who she doesn't get out a lot anyway. She's actually handicapped. She's in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so she doesn't get out and about too much. But something that was very eye opening was, so she was zooming with women from church, or just the congregation from church on Sundays. She does her prayer call every day, and her computer recently had gone out. And I was supposed to be the one to, get everything back in order. She had gotten a virus, actually. It was bad. Like, she got
Oh, damn.
hacked. So for anybody listening, like, getting hacked is real. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like, tried to clean her bank accounts the whole night. It was bad.
Oof.
But yeah, so I like tried to do what I could with
Mm-hmm.
my like limited techie brain, and like using the tech people around me, to the point where we were like, this computer is completely compromised. We got to throw this away before the hackers jump out and just take everything. So,
Right.
um, so but her not having a computer, there was one day where I had gone over to see her, and she was just really like in a funk. And she had mentioned to me, she's like, I really am struggling not seeing people. And it was like, okay, pre-COVID, she couldn't move freely without our assistance as far as leaving
Mm-hmm.
her apartment, going out. Then COVID happens, and our visitation to her is limited. She doesn't want, a whole bunch of people around, rightfully so. And
Right.
she's an elder, woman. Um, and then her computer goes out, where, that was a little bit of connection, to real people. And then to also her faith. She's a very spiritual woman, faithful
Mm-hmm.
woman. And then that went out. And when she told me that, my heart dropped. And I was just like, oof, like I couldn't even imagine, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just feeling that level of isolation, at the end of the day, I still live with other people, you know what I mean? I still
Right.
have, and I can move freely and do as I please. And so, yeah, I was a little heartbreaking. So got a, new computer and stuff. We're working on all of that. But
That's
that
good.
was, thank goodness. But that was one of those things, where I was like, yeah, just a real, person to person, someone who was close to me, this virus impacting them
Mm-hmm.
in such a way. And so, yeah, I mean, but all in all, honestly, Vic, like, and this is our daily prayer. We're just blessed to be working, blessed to be healthy, number one,
Right.
blessed to be working, and blessed to have each other. We all live extremely close to each other. By all, I mean my immediate family. Um, and I mean, we know if one of us, gets sick, if one of us loses a job, if one of us, experiences um, any kind of unfortunate circumstance, we gonna help each other.
Right. Right.
So yeah, definitely just been feeling very blessed, and just doing what I can to bless somebody else, because that's not everybody's reality.
Right, right. Yeah, I couldn't imagine being isolated, not being on the move, can't talk to nobody because your devices are broken. You don't live with nobody. You don't want people to come see you because of the virus. Like, that's another thing that triggered a lot of mental health issues because people started getting depressed and lonely and all that other stuff. So one thing just starts to lead to another. But it sounds like everything's on the uprising for her, luckily. So that's good to hear.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, personally, like, I actually had COVID back in June, and at the time I was living with my grandparents. So, like, that was like one of the scariest moments ever. Like, I was cool. Like, I only lost like my taste and smell, and like was tired and stuff like that. So, thank goodness it was just super mild symptoms. But living with my grandparents, good thing like we had 2 floors, so like I just stayed on the second floor for 14 days, and just they brought food up to the top of the steps and stuff like that to make sure I was eating and whatnot. But we were trying to wipe things down, wear masks, like gloves, like everything possible, so we don't contaminate and get them sick. Because like that's one of my biggest concerns through this whole pandemic was my grandparents and then also my mom, because like she has like a very bad immune system just because she has Crohn's disease. So like I'm always worried about her getting COVID at any given moment, because that'll probably put her in a hospital if that happened.
Mhm.
So, but how has the pandemic really affected like the stores or like other businesses you usually go to or tend to go to before like the pandemic?
Well, first off, I just want to say I'm so happy you're feeling better.
Oh yeah, yeah, I'm
And
good.
seriously, and I hope that you have taken every opportunity possible to thank God for the blessing that you had in your grandparents. That's beautiful. Um, but how has the pandemic? I mean, there have been I can't say, sorry, I'm getting all teary eyed. Um,
It's
I can't
okay.
say, I know I'm a crybaby. But I can't. I don't think there have been any permanent closures, at least to any place that I've been.
Hmm.
I mean, it's definitely different. You've been to Harrisburg, you know, Second
Yeah.
Street. Um, it looks a lot different. You
Right.
know, the last, I'll say 2 times, yeah, that I went to Aruga's, it was takeout. Um, and it's just, I don't know, it sucks, you know, to see everybody closed. You know, it does.
Right.
Um, you know, at the end of the day, I know we're all just trying to keep each other safe. So I
Hmm.
appreciate it. You know, if I was a business owner, I would be doing the same thing.
Right.
You know, I have at least, you know, been trying to keep my loved ones safe, by not, you know, getting on airplanes and,
Right.
you know, and I mean, and not to knock anybody who was doing that, but that's just what I feel, how I feel that I can, you know, play my part. But yeah, it's definitely different. Now there was a point at the beginning of the pandemic when outdoor dining was still a thing. Yeah, this was like spring, summertime, and they had opened up all of downtown. I don't know if you made it back to PA at all, and you got to experience it. Well, probably not. Now that I think about it, that was dumb to say because I
Well,
know
no,
like ain't nobody going nowhere.
well, I mean, I didn't move to South Carolina until June. Like, I actually moved the day after I was cleared from having COVID. I was out.
Okay. Okay, so I don't know if you got to see like where they had all of the businesses on Second Street. They like put benches and chairs, like the city did a whole thing.
Right.
It was just like an outdoor like restaurant. Like
Hmm.
it was kind of dope, you know.
Right.
Everybody just serving it from their storefronts, and then people just sitting in Second Street. They blocked it all off, so it's
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
big
I remember that. I didn't go down there, but I've seen that. I drove like by it and stuff. But yeah, that's crazy. Like, gotta find ways to innovate to be able to keep your business afloat, because like I forget what restaurant I went to. It was like somewhere on Derry Street, and the guy said he was like a week or two away from bankruptcy until they were like, yeah, you guys can have like outdoor dining and stuff like that. So he was like very thankful that he was allowed to do that, because otherwise he would have lost his restaurant just because of the pandemic, and because like most people don't even want to do takeout orders. So like you lose so much business, and you're just going to end up losing your business then. And then, but it was not funny, but it was crazy. Like when we were there, it starts to rain, so it's just like we're all outside. So like he ran everybody inside, and we're breaking all kind of rules, and I'm just like, this is the problems that this is going to happen every single time, because everyone's outside eating, not underneath anything, and if it rains, then you're screwed.
Yeah. They definitely could have put some tents up or like umbrellas or something.
Yeah, I mean, they had some umbrellas, but that wasn't going to be enough for the rain. Like, everybody's still going to get wet and stuff like that. So I don't know how to really do it. I mean, unless you get little like those big tents that you see at like weddings or something like that. Like, that would be all. But then again, at that point, you're back to indoor eating.
Very true. Very true. You gotta be,
If you do
yeah,
that,
yeah, gotta be so
you're
close to
outside
people.
indoor
Yeah.
eating. Yeah,
Yeah.
but how do you think like it could have been better, like during the pandemic, like working from home? Like, how could work have been better, like during the pandemic?
Um, I don't think it could have,
Hmm.
honestly. Yeah, that was just this whole year has been a one big moment of trial and error. I think it's just
Mm-hmm.
been one thing after another, and people just happen to figure out how to make it work. The only way it could have been better was for there to not have been a pandemic, but
Right.
obviously we
Right.
had no control over that. But yeah, I don't think it could have been better. Like I said, they call me Monday, I'm going back in the office. So
Yeah, you're ready. You're ready. Yeah, it's
I
crazy. Like,
could do that from
because like
home.
my job requires me to work at the place, and it's just like I feel like I can get COVID at any given moment because there's no like proper guidelines set up at my job, and it sucks because like there's no shields in front of my on my desk. Like I touch stuff that were just driven by people, and it's just like it's not to me. It's not safe, but I got to make sure I do my part and just wash my hands and use hand sanitizer and clean as much as possible. We just got to do all this. I mean, hey, it's been a year of change, and change is always going to be uncomfortable. So it's never going to be easy, no matter what. But I definitely agree.
Absolutely.
People who probably did work from home, I can't really account for could it be better, how it could be better, just because I never didn't think. But maybe like this can set like the presidents because like in the future, like this is going to happen again, one way or another. Another pandemic will happen. It happens all the time, like not all the time, but every so often. And we got to have a plan. Every business has to have a plan intact. Otherwise, you're going to go bankrupt. It's just going to fall apart and be a clusterfuck the way it was this time. And it's
Yep.
just like got to be more prepared, honestly.
Absolutely. So to anybody listening, make sure they don't throw away the pandemic book.
Right, right.
Literally, the pandemic playbook. Here's what we need to
That's
do.
great. That's
Just
great.
easy.
Yeah,
Right.
I can't
That's
believe
the way it could have been better. Don't throw away the guy.
right. I really cannot believe that he did that. Like
It's like yes, it blows my mind. It blows my mind just to think that like I mean, people knew, and didn't say anything until it was like, oh, it's too late because now all these people are sick, so we have to say something because, you know, like
right.
this is the thing now. We can't hide from it, and it's just like, wow, like we could have had a chance, maybe. I don't know, coulda, shoulda, woulda,
Yeah,
but
but it didn't. Right.
right.
But
Here's what we.
another one last question here is how do you think this pandemic will affect like the future of business? Do you think like a lot of businesses will start to work from home like more like just because like it saves on cost? Will you think that would become like more of a norm?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anytime we talk about this with anybody, I always say I I knew that this was a thing, the whole working from home thing. One of my last jobs, half of our team literally was in Colorado while we were in Pennsylvania. Never met them face to face. Didn't know anything about Colorado. They didn't know anything about Pennsylvania. But we got our work done. And I was like, oh my gosh, we have a virtual team, you know?
Right.
And I was just like, I wonder, and of course, like that was also during a time when, like the Googles and the Apples and, all of these big teams, all of these big, names, they were pushing, work from home and flexible work hours and like all of these different things, for their businesses out in, the LAs and all these different things. It was really big, I guess, like in the tech world.
Yeah.
But it was just like, yo, like people really can work from home. And then when I moved into the public sector, I just seeing how everything worked in state government, I was like, no, as soon as the public sector catches up, like as soon as they realize how they can work from home, that's going to be a thing. So I think that the pandemic really just sped everything up. I
Right.
think everything is going to look different from hospitality. Even the restaurants were able to bounce back after the service is going to look different.
Right.
Their online options and offerings, I think, are going to be a lot more, a lot bigger. I mean, retail that has been moving towards online anyway in the
Right.
past 10
Yeah, the
years.
brick and mortar stores are falling apart.
Yeah, they've been closing down forever. So I worked at a Bonton, I remember, and I remember when they closed. I mean, but Bonton, sorry if
Yeah.
I sound like a good mom.
My mom used to shop
They
there.
closed. I know, but Bonton is a really nice place.
Yeah.
But all of these places have been closing for so long, because they realize that people are moving towards digital platforms, like
Right.
that's the culture.
Yeah.
There's really no excuse when our grandparents are on Zoom calls now and on Facebook. It's like, okay, well, they can figure it out, right? Like
Right.
we're living through it. We're creating the technology.
Right.
So yeah, I think that everything's gonna look
Hmm.
different.
No, yeah, I think the old normal that we were used to is, I don't think ever going to come back. I think everything's going to be changed, and I think it's for the better. Honestly, like I think this made the Earth better too. The Earth was able to heal like nature and stuff. Businesses have adapted, grew, and made changes. Like even looking at like it was starting to come up, but like Walmart and Target, for example, like they do like you order everything online and you pull up, you drive up, and they bring your stuff out to you. Like it's so much more convenient. I mean, obviously, you're creating laziness because we're going to get to a point where we never even have to leave the house. You just bring everything delivered to you. But that could be a negative thing in the future. But we'll see how that kind of plays out. But it's cool to see the different effects that it had, like positively on companies to make the adjustments and stuff. But yeah. Any last thoughts on working through the pandemic at all, or how the pandemic may have affected you at all?
No, just yeah, no. I just don't want to have to do it. I don't want to have to live through a pandemic, work through a pandemic. But I'm definitely cheering for everybody who is, shoot, everybody who's not, and just staying hopeful that we can get to the other side.
Right, right. Most certainly agree. But I think it's time to close out the episode here. Then, what a conversation we just had for uh, about an hour. Unfortunately, it is time to wrap it up, though. Personally, want to take the time out to thank you again for joining me today and being an amazing guest as well.
Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you for being an awesome host. I'm sorry my technical difficulties, got us started a little late, but
No, it's all
we
good.
worked it
We
out.
managed. We got through it. uh,
Absolutely. It was an awesome combo.
no, yeah, for sure. We'll probably have to get you on in the future. Then we could talk about some other topics because there were some that we sprinkled in there that we can definitely talk way more about. So that'd be cool to get you on again. But also want to thank everybody who showed up today live. There wasn't much interaction at all, so maybe I get some in the future. But also thank everyone who's going to check this out later on our YouTube channel. But Maddie, where can we find you at, like social media wise, if they want to reach out to you?
Oh, I should have written this down. I hope I get it right. Madeline. Oh my gosh, because there are a couple underscores. Madeline, Madeline underscore Renee, RENEE underscore. I'm pretty sure that's it. If it looks like
Yeah, we'll
me,
double
that's
check. I'll
it.
throw it in the comments on the YouTube channel
Okay.
or in the
Yeah, I definitely
description.
should have written that down. Or Madeline Williams, I believe, on Facebook.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, definitely. But where can we find your business at? Like the organizations, do they have any websites that they can check out at all?
Yes. So www.capitalrebirth.org, and that's the only one. Or I don't really know the link for the Harrisburg Public Schools Foundation.
Hmm.
But we still waiting to see if that's final
Right.
anyway. So
Yeah.
capitalrebirth.org.
Yeah, for sure.
um, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. Me personally, you can check me out at Twitter at Mr. Never Chillin _ or hop on Xbox and play with me or party up, xNever space chillin, or contact me on Facebook at Vic Brubacher if you want to come on the show, have any ideas, questions, thoughts, recommendations, anything. Also, if you ever want to check these episodes out live, it's on twitch.tv/Mr. Never Chillin, so come check us out. We'll continue to produce these episodes weekly. If you can't catch it live, check it out on our YouTube channel. And we also have the Chill Zone podcast, which is our gaming related, and we also throw in non-gaming topics as well. That's every Thursday at 7 p.m. on twitch.tv/lunatic_oblivion with an A, or just check them out later on YouTube. But thanks again to everyone, and until next time, peace.